Hi guys, and welcome to the show this week. This week we're talking all about how you choose your email service provider. Okay, so maybe you're an online business and you've had an email service provider for a while, or maybe you're just starting up and you're not even sure what one is. And maybe you're a freelancer and you're thinking about growing an audience. Any of those three things applies to this. You can be constantly evaluating your decisions about this as well. Okay, right, so what is an email service provider? An email service provider basically is somewhere where you can send multiple emails to a lot of people, but it doesn't go straight through your inbox, so you're not manually having to CC people, all that crazy stuff. So it isn't actually in your inbox, but it's separate. You log into it and you decide the from email it's coming from. Basically, it makes it a lot more professional because, well, you can set up how your email looks. It's not going to be going out of your inbox. You keep it separate for your business. And also you can control who it goes to quite quickly without having to do it all manually. So like, say for example, you have a section of your audience that are interested in, I don't know, writing sales pages, but then other people are not. You can add tags to them that enable you to understand which section of that audience they're in, so that you don't send somebody who's not interested in that email. Okay, right, so let's get down to it. There's a few different providers out there. I can just list some off the top of my head. Like the free ones, the people who've got a free version, I think people like MailChimp, MailChimp, and then you go to the paid versions like ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, Convertkit, Aweber. There's quite a few out there that I've seen. Also, like, you've got course platforms that might have an email service provider integrated, so like Kajabi. Okay, so speaking to that, what do you need to look for in your email service provider to determine which one is the best one? Well, one thing that you could look at is budget. Okay, so are you really just struggling for cash right now? Because it could be that, you know, you want a basic startup. So MailerLite's free. It has a free version. So does MailChimp. And also ConvertKit does have a free version up to 300 subscribers. So perfect for if you're just starting out. Now, also as well, think about how much time it would take to learn the platform. Okay, so I tend to like to keep things separate, if that makes any sense. But going back, I'll cover that in a minute. But going back to time to learn the platform, I found some of these platforms easier than others. I've used quite a few of them. I would say the easiest ones to use are things like ConvertKit, MailerLite's quite easy. MailChimp was okay as well, so they're quite easy to learn. Kajabi can take a little bit of learning. It's okay, it's just you need to set it up properly so that if people receive emails from you via email, they look okay on mobile. But you can do that in the settings you can do that by using Block Builder, because Block Builder's a lot better than the Classic Builder. So there is a version of button that says Classic Button, and you don't press that, you press something else. Anyway, so another one is like what the platform can do. Okay, this is the major one. When you're looking at email service providers, the major thing to look at is what the platform can do for you. Okay, so not just now, just a bit further down the line. As an example, case in point is ActiveCampaign. probably a little bit more difficult to learn than Convertkit or Kajabi or MailerLite or MailChimp, but it has so much capability. So like, if you learned it, if you took the time to learn it, you can actually do things like tagging, do things like segmenting. So you've got a whole section of your audience that you can separate out for certain emails. You can do automations with them. So like, say if somebody downloads a freebie off your website, you can send them a series of emails, and then if they respond by clicking, you can you can show, like you can send them certain things depending on that as well. Constant contact is like that as well. It's not the easiest thing to learn, but wow, it's amazing what it can do in terms of intuitively like responding to people clicking. So like, if somebody clicks through a link on your email, and you can give them a choice of, like a better offer because they've clicked through it, or get it today offer rather than another email that's a little bit more nurturing. So it all is what your priorities are at the beginning. Now, if you want to keep it nice and simple with a platform that would grow with you, it's so easy to use. My preference, and I use this, and I'm not moving away from it now, is Convertkit. Just a preamble before I start talking about Convertkit. I've tried ActiveCampaign, I've tried Constant Contact, I've tried MailerLite, I've tried MailChimp, I've even worked with Aweber, and I work with Kajabi on a regular basis. So I kind of have an insight into a lot of these tools and what they can do. So Convertkit is really fast and efficient. So like, it doesn't matter where I am. Say for example, I spent a lot of time when I was an early blogger in coffee shops, and I still do because it helps me focus on my writing. But if I want to send a quick email to my list, I want to be able to do that regardless of what the internet signal is like. So with Convertkit, it is really fast and efficient. So even if your internet signal's not as good, it still works okay. It's not wasting you loads of time by like just doing that whole buffer thing in the background. This is where MailerLite falls down, and I've seen this. Like, my husband was a VA, and he had a client who was using it, and honestly, if he had any hair, he would have been tearing it out, because with MailerLite, there's a button to press in between each section of what you're uploading. And oh man, it would take like 2 or 3 minutes to load. And then if you realise you made a mistake and you had to go back, it was like spinny wheels again. It was awful. So, like, you were taking an extra 20 minutes per newsletter. And, in terms of like my husband's client, that was wasting so much time. That I just don't think it's the best use of your time if something's slow. So Convertkit's fast and efficient, and each screen loads nicely. So, and it's saving in the background all the time, which is a good thing as well. So if you do lose internet signal, you have got the latest version, which is fab. With Convertkit, you can actually apply tags. So like, if somebody clicks through a link, like, oh, they looked at your course offer, say for email newsletters, you would put a tag on them saying maybe email newsletters. And then you can also as well segment your audience. So you might want to send out an email that says, are you a copywriter? Are you a business owner? Or are you, I don't know, a course creator? And then if somebody clicks one of those links as well, you could add a segment saying, oh, those are all course creators. I'm going to send them this email because it's not relevant to the business owners. I wouldn't worry about tags and segments too much, but it's useful to know that the software that you're going to buy will do it in the future. And that goes for things like ActiveCampaign and Constant Contact. They will do things like that as well. So it's a good investment. It's just then balancing that with the price of what you're paying. So at the moment I'm paying $11, which really suits me well. But I get the level of service plan that gives me the automation, so I can get people, I can attract people to my list, which is what you want to do initially, isn't it, when you set your business up, whether you're a course creator, a freelancer, a business owner. All right, so another advantage of Convertkit over some of the others is that it allows you to send mobile optimized emails quickly. There is, oh my goodness, I use Kajabi almost daily for a client, and there's so much faff on Kajabi emails. It takes forever to load, to load up. And I'm not talking about spinny wheels like MailerLite, but with Kajabi, it's a block builder, which is great because, a lot of websites have moved towards block building. But man, does it take a long time. With Convertkit, you can just paste. I literally go from a GDoc file and paste it in, and Convertkit asks me whether I want to add markup. And I just test out the button, because sometimes if you press yes, I do want it, it puts like loads of spaces in between everything. So then I get rid of it, and then I press the other option, and then it comes up properly formatted. So 2 minutes of a job as opposed, probably total on Convertkit, probably about 10 minutes, as opposed to, I would say, 25 on Kajabi. So yeah, I honestly think that it's worth just having a look around, but don't spend too much time figuring it out. If you say, for example, you make a decision that you regret later on and you're thinking, I want a new email service provider, most of these email service providers now should offer you the service where you can get your list and you can import it into the new service provider. So don't worry about that too much. It's okay if you do think I've outgrown my email service provider. Okay, right, yeah, so that is pretty much everything I've got to say about email service providers. Quite a short podcast today, but it's just useful to know the pros and cons about them. Another note as well, just while I'm at it, a few of them had issues with just being sent straight to somebody's spam file. I know that Convertkit has a consistently good reputation for this not happening to them. Others, possibly you would just have to research and just see. MailerLite was pretty good as well. It didn't cause me any problems in that way. MailChimp, I don't know if they've improved since, but when I first used it, they had a major problem of emails going into spam, so we don't want that to happen. So we've got to choose the best email service provider that will give us the most success rate with delivery of emails as well. Okay, right, I hope you found that really useful. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, and I will answer them. Okay, I will see you next week, guys. All right, bye.